Welcome back to my channel. Today I am at Hollywood Forever Cemetery for Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead celebration. Let's go back 3,000 years, back to Central America when the Aztec and Mayan tribes were proud and thriving and strong. They believed that when you died, it was only your body that died and your spirit lived on. And there's one day out of the year where the veil between the living and dead is so thin that the dead can come and visit their living relatives. That is the Dia de los Muertos celebration. This tradition continued for 2,500 years until 1519. And in 1519, the Spanish conquered the Aztecs. They did everything they could to stamp out what they thought was pagan religion and replace it with Catholicism. But Dia de los Muertos was so ingrained in the culture that it has survived for the past 500 years and is still celebrated today. You can clearly see the influence of the Spanish culture in Dia de los Muertos and the influence of Catholicism. The most common symbol of Day of the Dead is the skull, and this tradition also dates back 3,000 years. Sugar skulls are a sweet treat, literally a skull made out of sugar decorated with bright colors. In the early 20th century, a printer and cartoonist named José Guadalupe Posada created his most well-known sketch. He called it Calavera Catrina, which means elegant skull. It was a statement mocking Mexicans adopting European fashions over their own heritage and traditions. But the people liked it. The elegantly dressed skull-faced women represent Mictecacihuat, the Aztec goddess of Mictlan, the Aztec underworld. There were several Mictecacihuats at this year's festival. Dia de los Muertos is a celebration of joy. Now when the dead come to visit, you can't see them, but you can feel their spirit. So it is a time to get together with your family members and celebrate the lives of those who are no longer with us. Families welcome and honor their deceased family members by creating altars with their pictures, their favorite foods, and other offerings. There should be no tears shed, no crying for your lost ones. It's considered discourteous to the dead who are gladly visiting. You'll notice that all of the altars, every single one, have marigolds incorporated into them. The Aztecs believed that the scent of marigolds was necessary for their ancestors to find their way back to their families. The theme of this year's Dia de los Muertos is the return of Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl was a feathered serpent, and he was a deity in the Aztec and Mayan cultures. He is the equivalent of the phoenix from Greek mythology, where you rise from the ashes. Quetzalcoatl could go into the underworld and bring the dead back to the land of the living. You're going to see the theme represented in a lot of the altars here at Dia de los Muertos, and I think it's pretty appropriate for this year's festival. They canceled it last year because of COVID, so it is the resurrection of the Dia de los Muertos celebration, as well as our economy and our lives are starting to come back to life. So I really like this year's theme. Dia de los Muertos is only once a year, but Hollywood Forever Cemetery is open year-round if touring cemeteries for celebrities' graves is your thing. It really is a pretty impressive place. I hope this helps you find your adventure. Thank you for watching.